Good afternoon. And for some of you, it might be a good evening. So we have a bunch of German players today. We have game 3 in the Open League, the last spot left to be decided between Psyduck-Psychos and the blue Trinexx group, Bumble and Crackerita versus Ascend and TT Chaos. My name is Tracy M. Hopefully we'll get blue and care in just a little bit, and we're going to be playing some Randomizer. What we know about these teams, so the blue Trinexx group actually went 12-2 in the regular season to have that higher seed, and here we go. Hearts in the Sanctuary, Shields in the Lynx house, and we have our top runners doing the same things and our bottom runners doing different things than each other. It looks like Chaos is going to head over towards the castle, probably do the uncle check. Looks like Crackerito is going to be checking Kakariko from the south. We'll get the Bonk Rocks from Ascend. That's a piece of heart. Looks like Bumble maybe forgetting that the Bonk Rocks are available and won't matter because it's just a heart piece, but not ideal. A sword at the uncle, so kind of vanilla there. So we don't get both sword and shield. Was that a flute? I think that was a flute at the lumberjack. Did Ascend see that? I mean, the flute isn't guaranteed to be needed, but you kind of want it. There's a heart container for Ascend. And Chaos is going to take that sword and go straight into the castle. Which, when in Randomizer is probably one of the locations where things get the most worse. I do see all crystals in the light world, including a red crystal at Desert. A mirror in the escape. That's a really nice find for the blue Trinexx group. All right, did Ascend go back and check Lumberjack? Do they have the knowledge of the Lumberjack's loot? Ascend gonna farm some of these bombs. 100% you're gonna get a bomb there when you bonk it, so good choice there. For our bomb situation, not great. And yeah, Psyduck-Psychos going ahead and trying to hit Kakariko at the same time. One from the north, one from the south, which is not an uncommon play in these co-op situations. Bottle blender just with a heart container, but early on we like those. Like not a whole lot from Blind's Hut. So far, all the finds have been in the castle, in the escape. Oh, there's a hook shot in the well, so there's at least something. So far, that looks like all we've seen. All right, Ascend's gonna find that hook shot. Was a glove in the well too? Wow, okay. The well was stacked. The rest of Kakariko, pretty darn garbage. I appreciate chat letting me know these things when so far I'm by myself. 4 screens for one person is a lot. All right, Chaos checking out Saha. We're gonna have a green pendant in Turtle Rock. So hopefully we don't ever have to deal with the green pendant. It does not mean we won't need a nice rod because we do have boss shuffle on. And that means that, yeah, we can have a Trinexx almost anywhere. There are a few exceptions, of course. Crackerito gonna check the back of Escape. We get the key, the lamp, and the quake. And with that key and lamp, you definitely go do Dark Cross from here if you're Crackerito. We saw the map on Chaos's side, so we know that that's not going to be the tier, so that's good. Virtually no sword for Crackerito, so you're using a combination of hookshot and bombs. too bad. Yeah, let's get all the stuff in the well. All right, as we probably start to get new stuff here. Then I'm gonna go ahead and do the back of escape. Bumble and mini Moldorm, so that'll be some new checks for us. Oh, nice sword. So we should be on Master Sword very soon. Recreator is going to go ahead and go through to the mountain. Also, an early ice rod is nice. Now we don't have to think about it. When Trinexx shows up, we'll be able to handle it. Not yet, because we don't have a fire rod, but it's going to go ahead and get the front of escape sword and mirror. And a moon pearl over at the ice rod cave. So the lack of the mirror is kind of gonna hurt the Psyduck-Psychos for just a little bit. They're not gonna be able to do anything not gonna be able to do Hera. We don't know where the hammer is yet, so that part might not matter. And I have Drosy joining me. Hey, Drosy, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Excited for this last match of the round, though I did kind of miss what happened in the first minute.
Yeah, the biggest thing of note is that there is a mirror that Ascend just got that the Psyduck-Psychos don't know about yet.
Ooh, where was it?
It's in the first chest of the escape. So.
Doing escape in an
Yeah.
open seed.
Chaos
With Randomizer to
Yep.
make it more challenging.
Yeah, Chaos found a sword on the uncle and figured, got a weapon, I'm gonna go continue on. And got the mirror for his troubles.
Well, hopefully Psyduck-Psychos know from that key in the back that the entire front's in logic.
Yeah, entire front's in logic. They already know it's in Dark Cross. I don't recall what it was, but we'll see it here on Ascend's side. And so it's gonna be 2 items to get. That's just rupees, so. So yeah, as you see, Chaos already on Master Sword, because we had one of those also in Mini Moldorm Cave.
And we're doing pretty well with items in general. About as good as you can hope for this soon into an Randomizer.
Yep. Yeah, nice glove and hook shot in the well.
And hey, there's our other boomerang in Waterfall.
That's kind of vanilla-ish. Wrong boomerang for that, but yeah. Oh, good. Just a piece of heart on the ledge, so we don't have to do any shenanigans to try and pick that up.
Oops, got hit, which knocked Chaos out of Water Walk. Do we call him Chaos or TT, or...?
I've been using Chaos, but chat, tell me if I got that wrong. Because I don't know.
What's today's scam?
That's a very, very expensive bombs that we don't even pick up. Yeah, with boots, I like to, if do this, just knock this off early if you can. Imagine Chaos gonna head up to the mountain. And apparently mitts are up on the mountain, because Crackerito has mitts.
That's a good reason to go to the mountain.
Yeah, that's actually, I mean, with the hook shot, you can get over to the west side. So
takes them away from the mirror, though, which would be nice because they could do Hera. I guess unless Hera's Cold Stare.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, maybe we'll get whoever heads up to the mountain over on the blue Trinexx group. It looks like it'll be Chaos. Will be able to find a compass and let us know what's up there. Early Master Sword is really nice for this, although really, Randomizer is one where you really want to have a Tempered Sword even more so than usual, and Gold Sword is more valuable, I'd say, in Randomizer potentially.
And Vanilla King's Tomb today. How about that?
Oh, baby. So we got a cape, a sword, but we got mitts, so if we don't, yeah, not a hard required Agaseed, but with the hammer not showing up, this could be one of those Agaseeds that are for the east part of the world that everybody will sequence break with either a Kern Jump or a Water Walk.
Right. I guess the riskiest thing is if the hammer is in pyramid. We would need to know what our other 5/6 is, though, to know if that's even possible.
Yep. Also, sequence breakable, but
Okay, pod is pendant because pendant pod.
of course, pendant pod. Why would it be anything else?
And our other pendant is swamp, and Skullwoods is the other 5/6. So
Does not require a hammer. So
Right.
keep that in the back of your mind. We're not going to wish that on the runners. A Pyramid Fairy Agaseed. Those are never fun. It looks like I think the Psyduck-Psychos decided to, after finding the myths, sent Crackerito into the Dark World, and Bumble's doing all the East Dark World checks.
Meanwhile, Blue Trinexx group have found their way to the mountain, and they're getting their mitts. And with that mirror, I would expect them to do the entire Light Mountain.
Yeah, I imagine send one to Hera, and then the other one can start doing the east stuff.
I was also thinking, like, interesting implications here for logic that normally you would say, oh, TR is a pendant, so Fire Rod for Skullwoods can't be on Ped.
Right, but it can be. I mean, the key
you
layout.
You need the key layout.
The key layout would have to work out.
There can't be any keys on that Firewalk side of TR, but it's possible.
Yeah, put a map and a compass there, and you've got the crazy Ped Fire Rod seed. Yeah, and Chaos looks like heading over to Hera. Ascend about to pick up the mitts, probably going to head over to East Death Mountain.
I don't think we're getting Mirror Shield off of Bumper Ledge, even though we have that cape.
No. I don't know anyone that... I mean, there are people that are anti-shield, and then there are people that are really anti-shield, and then there's, people that don't really care. But I don't know very many people that just love the shields.
And even if you're worried about Laser Bridge, there's one enemy on it. I mean, I guess you could have a Lionel on Laser Bridge. That would be kind of nasty.
We already have a cape, so it's fine.
True.
We got a small key in the front of Hera, so are we just leaving? We're just leaving.
What was in the basement cage? I didn't catch it.
I didn't see either. I'm assuming not the... Oh, compass.
Oh, it was the compass, so do we know who the boss is? I totally missed it.
Boss is Cold Stare. Okay.
Oh, well, there we go.
Thanks,
okay.
Chat. Also, Furious Magic, one of our trackers, Velity, the other trackers, huge shout-outs to them. As usual, our MVPs.
There's the bug net in Thieves Town, which is a really nice item to have in Randomizer because loading up on fairies is nice, though looks like Bumble's the only one who's found a bottle so far.
I prefer to have enough money to just buy potions, but yeah, when you've used one of your potions and you come upon a fairy pond in one of your dungeons, it's not a bad idea to just grab an extra fairy just in case the nasty Trinexx is on the boss spot.
And Crackerito's boss check for Thieves Town was so fast. I tried to see it the second time around, and I still couldn't see it even knowing it was coming.
Why is Ascend doing Castle Tower?
Was there something on Lumberjack?
Oh, right, there's a flute on Lumberjack.
Oh, that would do it.
Yeah, we're gonna go get the flute because Misery Mire is a crystal and we need it. Okay, never mind. I'm dumb. I completely forgot about the beginning of the race where we all saw a flute on Lumberjack. So it's just gonna go get that. Yeah, that makes sense. I might have waited a little bit longer, just, you know, in hopes of finding maybe a better sword to go through, because it does make a difference in this climb, even if it were normal enemies, but it's not a big deal. And we have a Argus in Thieves Town. The back of Thieves Town becomes basically another left side swamp in this mode. Do you do it?
And hey, let's get a quick prediction in there. Since all the runners are gonna have to do this, how many blue balls will they have to contend with?
Oh, there's a blue cane for Chaos. Did not see how many items we saw in the front of Thieves Town. It is possible to have a true god Thieves Town in this mode.
But we know the compass was in
50.
front, so that's at least one item we're not getting.
Yeah. Cracker finishing nicely with a powder. Oh, powder is another good one to get in nice safety.
Yeah, I'm realizing Crackerito has a small key, but that could just be that he picked up the pot key before going into the boss.
Yeah, I would totally pick up the pot key in that situation, because it's on your way, and then you just if you go to the back, you don't ever have to worry. It's just more efficient to already have it. Let's see if he goes back in. Nope. A little unfortunate that they don't have the mirror to do like the Smith's chain in an optimal way.
And very well behaved Aga so far, only one blue ball.
Alright, Chaos gonna finish up with Spiral Cave. Now, Eastern is potentially doable without a bow. Pod, you can't do without a bow.
Yeah, though Eastern logically still requires it.
Yes, which is a good thing, because you know that you shouldn't be looking for your bow. If you can't mimic clip GT, you know that there's a bow outside of GT. Granted, there could be the quote-unquote silvers in GT.
The second logical bow, I'm sure, is bow locked in Pendant Pod.
Oh, of course. All right, and nice Lionels to greet us in what should be supposed to be the easiest dungeon in the game, right?
Though Tracy, we should remark that mimic clipping is not actually required in Randomizer, at least.
Oh, that's true.
This version.
That's true. Yeah, no, because it's very easy to forget in Randomizer. The game will never give you enemies that need a specific weapon to kill them.
Yeah, emphasis on this version, though, because apparently there's a new version on the door branch that does do that and adjusts the logic accordingly.
Which is kind of interesting. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Randomizer in general, so do whatever you want to do. Because I'm not playing it regardless. There's a flute for Ascend. If I can activate it, I imagine it goes straight over to Myra, see what's over there, and could even do Desert. Depending on the boss. Keep in mind, whenever we call these these boss shuffle seeds, everything is depending on the boss until we have a hook shot, a fire rod, and an ice rod. Which, Crackerito has a fire rod. I did not see where he got that.
So, is this finally Psyduck-Psychos play for the mirror?
Yes, looks like it. Okay, apparently Fire Rod's in Hype Cave, so the blue Trinexx group are not gonna miss that.
At least one would hope they're not.
He's gonna check the Mire area first. Like a hammer here would be really nice. Go from the south to the north, or even split it up, one go south, one go north. Because, you know, Fire Rod we have Quake, we need Quake, so that's good. It's like we also need, we don't need Bombos. We don't really want to go into Turtle Rock. Bombos can be in GT, and we'd be very happy. Have you seen a check of the boss in Eastern from Bumble? Nice.
I was wondering the same. I was about to ask you.
Nice
Well, he's still
veil
going. Well,
BP.
if nothing else, he wants the big chest, and it also means that everyone's doing a full clear of Eastern.
Yep. Oh, nice. Yellow spiky ball.
And a
Oh,
chain
God.
chomp on the other side,
What
because,
a
hey, why
terrible
not?
room. Ascend into desert. Crackrudo has the mirror now.
And with the fire rod, he could, if he decides to go up and do Hera, he could beat it.
Yeah. There's the compass for desert. Let's see if... I think that's a blind. So we're okay on finishing desert.
Oh, and they really do have pickles in kill rooms. I just noticed on Ascend side and Desert. This was a conversation recently that's the one place.
Yeah, well, there was... Remember when Mystery League Season 3 happened? And there was a rather infamous race where the runners had to find a enemy that dropped a bomb because the Buzz Blob had the small key in the boomerang chest room.
Well, not just that, but bombs only stun the Buzz Blobs. They don't kill them, so you need some sort of a weapon to take them out. And we have
I think they had a sword.
We have a three-eyed Moldorm in Eastern. Goes down pretty easily.
Big fan of the multi-eyed Moldorms. But yeah, I mean, that mirror is hard required now, because, I mean, normally we would say that because of swamp, but with the book, if you saw that we got the book in desert, so that means we absolutely needed the mirror to get into desert. Oh, look at this room! Oh gosh, I might just use Quake.
Hey, here's the catfish check. Someone respects the fish.
Everybody's favorite check. And by favorite, I mean not favorite, but hey, a tempered sword.
I'll take that catfish check.
Oh, for sure. In an Randomizer, if I'm Ascend, I probably go get that as soon as I can. In not Randomizer, I might hedge my bets and see if I can find another sword elsewhere. Those yellow spiky balls just like to show up in dumb spots. Alright. Blind fight for Ascend. He has the red shield, so this is a pretty safe fight. Red shield.
Mine's always a little bit more challenging in Randomizer since you can't rely on the script.
Right. But that red shield will block all the fireballs, so just... And you can... okay, Ascend doesn't have the blue mail yet, so it does need to be a little bit careful.
He also doesn't have the cape yet. Ooh!
Okay, well, that didn't quite work out as well.
The one runner without the cape.
Yeah, the one runner without the cape, the one runner... Oh, that side doesn't even have any of the... Crackrudo has red mail, and everybody else is still on green, so there you go. This time I'm just gonna just use Quake for this.
Nice use of Quake.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, like, I don't know which enemies Quake actually works on. And we found out that for these enemies, they turn into little blobby things. So
That's what it does to the majority of enemies, but I don't know exactly which enemies.
It's good to know that the Quake will insta-kill Pengators. That's the big one. I also believe I learned at one point, don't use them on Gibdos. They do nothing. And
Chaos going for his flute. Crackerito beating Aga to go for his flute.
Yeah,
Everyone
everybody's gonna
wants
go get the flute.
now.
Yeah, I said I'm gonna use these sword beams as long as he can, because why not?
Yeah.
Blind one of the only enemies the sword beams are useful on, and the only enemy where they do, where the damage that they do doesn't matter. Like Moth will take damage from sword beams, but not a lot.
Right. I mean, that's because Blind is the only boss where all swords do the same damage. And hey, Blind has the hammer.
Nice. That's a really nice find for the blue Trinexx group. So now I imagine Chaos is just gonna go get that hammer, and they'll send a send to the Dark World. Do we see Graveyard Ledge over on Chaos' side? We're gonna see that over from Crackerito. Just a green potion, which, in Randomizer, you pick that up. I'm saying could be Samaria from Go. Let's see.
That was an
Well,
interesting route for Crackerito to take out of the graveyard.
Yeah, we don't technically need flippers. And it would be not a bad thing if we just didn't find them, since we can do Ice Palace without them. So long as the enemy set cooperates, because Randomizer does make fake flippering a little more dangerous. Although we do have Water Walk available, so maybe you just do that if it's a dangerous enough enemy set. But yeah, we need a Canis Samaria, and yeah, that's all we hard require.
Tracy, I was just thinking, the hammer was behind Aga after all.
Yeah, it was, just thankfully not at the Pyramid Fairy. Nobody wants that.
Though, is there any boss we can't beat at this point? I think we can do all of them. Yeah,
well, Fire Rod, Ice Rod, Hookshot, those are like the key things to have for the for all your bosses.
Yeah, Vitreous wouldn't be a very pleasant fight on our current loadout.
No, Vitreous would be pretty bad. Although Cape plus Sword is not the worst thing, as long as you have at least a Master Sword. Now it's super slow on, oh my god, this lag. Cape plus Master Sword is really, really slow. Cape plus Gold Sword is really, really fast, and Tempered is in between. But there's Fire Rod for Ascend. So all our runners, let's see.
I'm just realizing Chaos hasn't actually beaten a dungeon yet, which is surprising because Blue Trinexx group, feels slightly ahead, but Psyduck-Psychos have beaten more dungeons.
Yeah, everybody's on Castle Tower now, so that's even. I think if they feel ahead because they'd already gotten that hammer, and I imagine though Crockery is going to get that hammer really soon.
I would think so. No reason not to do desert when you know you can full clear it.
Yep. Yeah, chat asking about the bow. Yeah, it'd be nice to find the bow. It'd be even more nice if we get silvers, but we don't need it since Pod is a pendant, we don't strictly need it.
Yeah, definitely makes Vidi nice. Though who knows if we'll even encounter Vidi. There's one somewhere, but it could be in a pendant dungeon.
Could be in a pendant dungeon, could be on ice, and we don't need to go that far for the big key. The other difference between the teams is we do know where a tempered sword is on the Blue Trinexx group. Neither one of our Psyduck-Psychos have run all the way to Catfish to get an extra sword. And that can be more significant. I mean, it's always significant if you're talking about Master Sword Ganon, especially without silvers. But it's even more significant potentially in an Randomizer situation, depending on what bosses land where.
Yeah, well, Blue Trinexx group isn't going to be on Master Sword. The question is whether Psyduck-Psychos will go to Catfish at some point, or whether they can find the fourth sword.
Yeah. I mean, Ascend still needs to go pick up that Tempered Sword, but I think you do. I think you just do it. Ascend's gonna skip that, yeah, and let your partner do the Smith Chain. You go do. You've got the Fire Rod. You go do that. All right, lots of red mail now. And dungeon-wise, we're fairly equal. Different dungeons cleared, though.
And Kakarito finds out about the book for Psyduck-Psychos.
The one thing I would worry about here, like right now, the Psyduck-Psychos, I think, are doing a better job of just getting your dungeons cleared, whereas Chaos is running around doing overworld checks. And unless the Cane of Samaria is in one of these checks, this is just going to be a big waste of time. Whereas dungeons, you know you have to do.
What was that out of Magic Bat? It looked like maybe 10 arrows. It blended in.
I definitely showed it as an arrow. I'm not sure if it was 10 arrows or maybe just a single arrow.
Oh, okay, the count incremented by up to max, so it was 10 arrows.
Oh, we did get a bow on the Smith, so that's interesting. Is that even worth it?
Okay, so really we just need Samaria now.
Yep.
And simultaneous Argus fights on the top two runners.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I don't know if you grab the bow if you're Ascend. It really isn't that valuable unless you get the silvers, I think.
Again, if we find a Vidi, it can definitely make that fight faster.
Yep.
And, you know, purple chest would be one thing, but Smith is quick enough if you have the mirror.
Smith with the mirror is not terrible.
And Ascend's right there. Rito doing blind on 5 hearts, but he does have red mail and he
Red
has
mail
the
cape.
at the ready. Doesn't need it.
Yeah, red mail cape and red shield, so. There's hammer pegs on Ascend's side. Did we not? I guess, no, I guess, yeah, he's the only
No,
one.
Chaos didn't have the hammer.
Right, because, yeah, exactly. He's gonna get it now. Well, not right now, but soon. Just a piece of heart. Yeah, imagine Ascend's gonna take that Fire Rod and do Skull Woods. Nobody's done Skull Woods yet.
And hey, there's Bombos, so we don't actually need it because Samaria is the only thing we need.
Yeah,
and
it's true. Yeah. And Bombos is nice for Ice Palace, so it's not terrible.
Yeah, and you know, could be nice for breaking Cold Stare's shell at the top of Hera as well, which seems to be where Kakarito's going. You know, especially since they're only on Master Sword, having some magic to use the Fire Rod on Cold Stare is pretty nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So far, one item in Skullwoods, and it wasn't a good one. I think it was 20 rupees. And we'll get to see. We haven't seen a Helmasaur yet. Everybody's favorite, still out there as a possibility. Helmacopter.
Vanilla Ether to go with our Vanilla Cane. Not Vanilla Cane, Vanilla Cane. You know what that means about where Samaria is, right?
Oh no. Gonna be in Mire? Is that what we're saying?
Clearly.
And somewhere Ascend got some half magic, so that's good.
Oh, I missed that. Was it must have been in Skullwoods because I don't know where else he's.
I saw 220s in Skullwood, so I don't think so. Not sure where that was. If anyone in chat saw where we got the half magic, let me know. I imagine Chaos will pick that up. It's another one of those luxury items that's just extra useful in Randomizer.
Yeah, especially, if you run into a Cold Stare at Moldorm 2, you need magic for that, and that's after the last magic refill.
Okay, Plumerian Knight, thank you. Half magic was on Bombo's tablet.
Oh, nice.
A little bit out of the way, but, well, actually, Chaos hasn't gotten the Fire Rod, so it's not that far out of the way. I think we just got... It looks like he just got grabbed. That always sucks.
As we were saying, Crackerito is judiciously trying to use the 6 Fire Rod shots he gets with that magic bar.
This is not an easy fight, especially on Master Sword.
Hey,
Red Mail does help.
There we go.
And just 20 rupees.
Now, I'm realizing, as we find our second blind, which means there are no more blinds in the game, Ascend can now do Pyramid Fairy if he wants to.
He can?
Assuming he survives this blind fight.
Yeah, this is not free.
He's still never picked up the cape, though at least he has Red Mail now.
Yeah, Red Mail's gonna help a lot here. Still has that red shield, which also helps. I feel like this is the most useful place for a shield, is being able to block the fireballs of Blind.
The thing about this room is Blind has to move off the top, because you basically can't hit him while he's on the spikes.
Right, because this, the whole spike damage at the same time thing.
Well, even so, what would you hit him with? Like, your sword can't reach through his robe that far.
Yeah, that's true, too. Ooh, Kana Samari and Spike Cave. Oh, boy, that's gonna be rough.
That's de facto go mode for the Psyduck-Psychos.
Yeah, it is.
If they want to do Master Sword Silverless. Which they... unless the 4th sword is along their way, I don't really see them going to Catfish now.
They're not getting that Catfish sword. There's no way.
Or Smith Chain, so I don't see them having silvers.
Yeah, Bumble could end up stumbling onto silvers, because he's got the bow from the Smiths, but not gonna get it. Not gonna, you're not gonna send Crackerito to get the bow on the off chance that you're running into silvers. Meanwhile, Chaos in Ice Palace without the Kana Samara is not great.
Yeah, so this gives Psyduck-Psychos a lot of leverage. It could be quite a while before Blue Trinexx group goes to Spike Cave.
Sen's gonna go grab that bow. I'm still not sure how I feel about going after the bow here. You just don't actually need, but like you say, this is a fairly quick turn-in since you're just doing the Smith.
And if at the end of the day, Blue Trinexx group winds up with tempered silvers and Psyduck-Psychos are doing Master Silverless.
Yeah, I mean, that could happen.
Could be a difference.
I mean, especially, yeah, I mean, that is a significantly, we talk about the difference in fight lengths and again, and when you take out the silvers and you take out the tempered sword, then it actually becomes a significant difference. Now, Blue Trinexx group hasn't gone back to finish Hera yet, and that would be when you would do Spike Cave. Sen might want the tempered sword first, since they know that their team knows that they are going to be getting a cold stare up there.
And is this a Pyramid Fairy play from Ascend?
Yeah,
I don't know what else it would be.
Yeah, because you could do Pyramid Fairy into Catfish and get that sword. Oh, we got flippers.
They were
Flippers
in
were
Hype
just,
Cave
they
all
were just in
along.
Hype
That's
Cave
why
all
everyone
along.
else
Okay,
has them.
everybody has them. Okay, completely missed that. That's okay. I mean, you'd rather not see the flippers because that keeps you out of Swamp Palace, but that's not an issue for the Psyduck-Psychos. It's only potentially an issue for Blue Trinexx group if they decide to bet on a Swamp Palace instead of going over to
Hey, there's a
Spike
nice
Cave.
Randomizer trick. Wall Masters and IPBJ room.
Ooh, Ice Palace just seems to like to have extra wall masters. It seems.
So Chaos has given up on the bomb jump because he doesn't want to get wall mastered, but
Without the Cane of Samaria,
right,
that's the
this could
problem.
logically require Samaria, and it makes things kind of tough if you don't have it and you're not bomb jumping.
Yeah, even if it doesn't logically require Cane of Samaria, the things you need to do to get around. I mean, basically, the vanilla way of going through Ice Palace is just awful. We got to shovel a Pyramid Fairy. That's not what Ascend wanted to find there.
It looks like he's going for his tempered sword in any case.
Yeah, I think you grab this.
At some point, one of them has to go up to the mountain.
Yeah, maybe Ascend goes and takes that tempered sword, kills Cold Stare, and then does the Spike Cave check. We had kind of the earlier, the way everything routed earlier. It was kind of the Spiral versus Spike conundrum, and they were close. They were all closer to Spiral, and you usually like to do Spiral when you make that choice because it's easier to get back to Spike Cave. But as much as you say that, it doesn't mean you're getting back to Spike Cave. If this is a flute to... No, it's flute to 4. If this is swamp, this is bad. Okay, oh, we're gonna check the shovel first. That makes sense. A sword here would be nice for Ascend. Actually, that'd be really good for Blue Trinexx group. Not because, Ascend having the gold sword would be super useful, because while it's more valuable to Randomizer, it's not that great. But if it's here, then we know Psyduck-Psychos are not going to get it. But it's just a heart container. Meantime, Bumble, trying to finish off this Cold Stare. Ascend's gonna do Eastern. I wonder if they forget that you don't need the bow for Eastern. Cracker are gonna give us our first look into Misery Mire.
I mean, I guess, Blue Trinexx Group's strategy is hoping that they can find Samaria somewhere in the lower world and then just do Hera straight into GT.
Yeah, I imagine that's exactly what we're looking at. I don't like when you're picking your dungeons. Eastern over Hera is fine. Eastern's 3 items. It's a pretty quick dungeon, even in Randomizer. It's not bad. I don't like Ice over Hera here. And Chaos is just gonna leave Ice and just gonna come back.
Talking about how Chaos skipped Quake, we already saw one race this week where a runner skipped a medallion and then couldn't find it because it was so early.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, it's very easy to forget where you got something. And, because what'll typically happen in co-op, you'll say, okay, blah item is here, and you tell your partner, and then immediately it can go out of your head because you've done your job, you've told your partner. But if your partner either misses it or doesn't hear it or doesn't acknowledge it, there's a lot of ways that can go wrong.
That said, Chaos is finally on the mountain, so he'll do Hera and hopefully Spike Cave after.
Yep.
And then he'll just need to hope that Ascend remembers where Quake was.
Yeah. I don't remember where Quake was, but I'm not playing. Oh, right, back of escape.
And that was the thing that in the race earlier this week, like, Ether was an uncle chest, and
Oh,
one
no.
runner didn't pick it up, and his teammate was, like, furiously trying to scrape his own VOD.
Yeah, I mean, it never feels good in a race when you're checking your VOD. It just, whether it be co-op or not, it's just not a good feeling. But yeah, this seed, I mean, for Randomizer, this has not been bad. We haven't run into a Trinexx yet, and you know we do have like that is another potential great equalizer here. If Trinexx were to show up on ice and Bumble and Cracker are still on Master Sword, that is
Yeah.
a absolutely horrible fight. It's pretty bad with Tempered Sword, to be perfectly
Yeah, I
honest.
mean,
But
right, but when you're on Master Sword, you want to hammer your way through it, and it is really
yeah,
nasty
it's
with the hammer
very bad.
hitbox on ice.
We definitely, during the week of Randomizer, definitely saw some races that turned on ice Trinexes. Okay, moment of truth for Chaos. Does he go for Spike Cave?
And if he does, we'll probably see Ascend go for the mountain in a hurry after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks like it.
Yep, this is definitely Spike Cave. There's no other reason you'd go into this portal from
Now,
Hera.
Ascend still doesn't have Burna or Cape.
He's
Or
got a
Bottle.
bottle. Oh, okay. He needs one of those three things.
Yeah, he's not going to get through without any of
No,
those
no.
things.
Or 14 hearts, but trying to remember where 14 hearts are is
Right.
not gonna happen. Yeah, in co-op, you're probably not getting a 14 heart Spike Cave chip.
Yeah, so now Ascend knows where his go mode is, and he just needs an item to let him get there.
All right, this looks like it's going to be the back of escape for Ascend to get the Quake medallion. And now all our runners just going to be rushing through all the dungeons. So we have everybody's on Castle Tower, so I'm not going to count it. We have Psyduck-Psychos up 2 dungeons. No, 3. Oh yeah, 5 and 4, 5 and 5. I'm having trouble counting these. 10 on Psyduck-Psychos side to just 6. No, 7 on the Blue Trinexx group. That's a pretty decent lead for the Psyduck-Psychos.
Yeah, I mean, Hera's pretty quick.
I think Blue Trinexx group's best hope, honestly, is another sword doesn't show up. And you know, a second bow showing up would everybody did go pick up the bow. Okay.
Yeah, so
you don't want if you're the Blue Trinexx group, you only want the silvers to show up if
unless there's some sort of weird GT layout where Psyduck-Psychos finds the big key really quickly, and
yeah.
Blue Trinexx group winds up getting silvers before big key.
Yep. Which can happen. We've seen it before.
Yeah, I think there was a race recently where, like, silvers were in Hope Room, and the big key was in Stalfos Room, and one team just went left.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like the so-called Dark Magician route is even more popular in co-op.
So what do we have here? Chaos does have sword beams for blind, so that is about the only way you can actually take him down while he's at the very top on the spikes.
Yeah, sword beam's not bad. Not a bad thing to have for this fight in particular. It doesn't have many more. It's just gonna cape up, so yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the other, like, then you can go under his cloth.
We have 2 runners in Ice, we have a runner in Eastern, we have a runner just finishing up Skull Woods.
But again, Bumble's ahead of Ascend in Ice.
Yep.
And it also looks like Psyduck-Psychos are checking chests along the way to try to find the sword
Yeah,
or
I mean,
silvers.
and you do that. I'm pretty certain that everything, yeah, everywhere we've seen, there are no swords. There's that one sword left. You know, it could just be in Turtle Rock somewhere.
Yeah, or Swamp.
Or Swamp. Always a sword in
Or
Swamp,
Pod.
right?
I mean, that's 6 in Swamp, 6 in TR if you include
Mimic.
Mimic, and 5 in Pod. So that's 17 items we are flat out not going to see. Speaking of Pod, there's Helma King sitting in Ice.
Well, that's boring. It's an interesting color palette that has happened to him, though. That's Dungeon 6 for a Crackerito. At this rate, probably going to be the first one into GT.
Jeez, it was taking me a bit to figure out whose music we were listening to. This is Chaos's music.
Oh, jeez. Look at this room for Ascend.
Is he just trying for more health or what?
Yeah, well, there was a anti-fairy over there on the right side, pinned by the block.
Ah.
So that worked out kind of well.
Well, at least, Helma King in this room isn't that bad. Though you probably want more than 2 hearts.
Yes. Even on red. But yeah, I mean, as chat's pointing out, we have the the dungeon, like you said, the dungeon with the most items. Like, it's almost like 50-50 Last Sword in GT versus Independent Dungeon.
Yeah, how many items are there in GT? 20? So yeah, it's very even.
Yep.
And that's assuming no junk fill, and there is junk fill, so.
Yep. Yeah, there's not necessarily junk fill in the Independents in the same way. Whereas GT is gonna have a certain amount of junk fill.
Yeah, it's randomly determined, but it can be up to 15 chests junk filled. Apparently, in some early versions of the randomizer, there were way too many goodies in GT.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I mean, it's also the reason why, the map compass shuffles don't put put maps and compasses in logic, is to keep them from being junk fill in GT. Because let me tell you, they don't have that logic in the keys version of SMZ3, which, for various reasons I don't play anyway. But you start finding those maps in GT, it's not very fun. And of course, this being Enemizer, the other great equalizer is a late Wallmaster on the climb. I haven't seen a lot of those, but they can be all the way up into that very last room on the ice with all the mini Helmas.
So, I just realized this is going to be Crackerito's 7th crystal, and also Bumble's 7th crystal.
Yeah, they're going to be in GT very, very soon.
Well, that's great, since it helps you divide and conquer for finding the big key.
Yep. And maybe finding a sword. Ascend is going to do Misery Mire right now, and then we'll finish up Hera. That'll be pretty quick. Chaos is a little bit more to do. Has to do both Mire and Ice.
Yeah, I think it would be very difficult to overcome this deficit.
Yeah, I mean, all things being equal, yeah, you know, Ice Trinexxes and Wall Masters notwithstanding. You know, lots can depend on where that second sword is. Like, it's less over with this mode than it would normally be, if that makes sense. Like, in any mode, things can happen, but the things that can happen, there are more things that can happen in Randomizer than things that can happen in other modes. All right, I see some numbers in chat as Crackerito is going to be the first one into GT. And I think one of the reasons I feel like when you're enough ahead going into GT looking for that big key is kind of nice to just maybe make sure you knock out the right side, whether it be, you know, compass key into right or a
Yeah.
dark magician route.
Well, in
And
Randomizer, you really want to save the ice boss for last in case it's Trinexx.
and that too. Some people even go so far as to do tile room early to avoid the ice boss.
I haven't actually totally been keeping track of bosses. I know we've seen 2 blinds. We've seen a Helma King and a Moldorm.
We have
And
not
an
seen
Argus.
Armos. We have not seen Armos. We have not seen Moth, I don't think. We have not seen a Vitreous. We've not seen a Trinexx. Yeah, it's always a little bit scary when you go into GT.
Oh, well, there was the Moth in...
Oh, there's a Moth in Misery Mire. So
yeah, so I'm just trying to remember.
really good chance we're going to see a Vitreous at the top, though. Because Vitreous is one of the few enemies that can... There's a limited number of enemies that can be at the top, and he's one of them, so...
Who was the Eastern boss?
Eastern was... Is that a Moldorm?
Oh yeah, Eastern was Moldorm, Hera was Cold Stare, Desert was Blind, as was
Right.
Skull Woods, Thieves was Argus, Ice was Helma, and Mire was Moldorm. Not Moldorm, Mothula. One of those MO bosses. Which actually makes Vidi very likely for Moldorm 2 location.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think we're going to see a Vitreous at Moldorm 2, which without Silvers is kind of awful.
Yeah. And you also have to, you know, think if you want to use your cape, well,
yeah, I mean,
you need to save some magic for Ganon. Hope you stocked up on potions.
Yeah. Well, Ascend doesn't even have a bottle.
Though he does have half magic.
Yeah, that will help.
He's still the only one with half magic.
Yeah, I guess they decided for Chaos it wasn't worth. Okay, it's 4 checks in GT, and we're mirroring.
5.
Right, Torch.
No sign of Silvers or the 4th sword either. Oh, and hello, Bob. Just kind of swimming around Hope Room.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, and Bob turns into a regular anti-fairy as you leave. That's great.
That's I've never noticed that. Like, but every Randomizer seed has such different boss or enemy combinations. Yeah, this timing is not as good as it could be for Psyduck-Psychos. You'd want Cracker to be just a little bit more ahead. But this should work. Yeah, because Bumble's not going to want to go to this side.
Oh,
there's
hello,
Silvers.
Silvers.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, okay. Well, one of our had. Do you go get
Do you
that
send
if you're
Bumble at this point because such a big difference on phase 4?
And you know, like we said, and a huge difference if there's a Vidi at the top, like there almost certainly will be. Like why are we in here? Because Bumble should know there's nothing.
Key? Yeah, I think it was for the small key.
Yep.
And Ascend's gonna join them in GT. Chaos still has all of Meyer.
I feel like for Psyduck-Psychos, unless we run into a sword down here, I think you send Bumble to get the silvers.
First, we need to figure out even where the big key is.
Oh my god, these yellow spiky balls.
Like, will we see the ice boss at this point?
We might. And there's a non-zero chance that it's a Trinexx.
Yeah, something about the placement algorithm makes it like a 25% chance just off the bat, and since we haven't seen a Trinexx yet, it's even higher. Though that small key in Fire Snake increases the chances of a big key in Rando Room.
Yeah,
as I was saying.
And no sword here. So let's see if Bumble goes for the silvers. Yeah, I think this is the right call. I definitely think this is the right call for them.
Especially with no half magic or anything.
Yeah, no half magic. A very, very highly likely Vitreous at the top of the tower. And no swords. 4 more chances to get swords. Ascend is about to enter GT.
And Chaos almost at his 7th crystal, but then, of course, needs to climb the mountain still.
Yeah, sure. You don't normally see this little slightly off-centered GT crystal cutscene there from Ascend. It's from where the mirror portal was left. Bumble does need to grab this small key, so fortunately is remembering to grab it. Don't want to have to get bailed out by a small key in a chest up top. Don't know what anybody has in their bottles on Psyduck-Psychos. I know one of the bottles that was picked up, that was available, did have a green potion in it, which is going to be useful if magic becomes an issue, but I don't recall who picked that up. It could be any of the Forerunners.
Yeah, and it looks like Ascend will get his silvers. I think it's too little too late at this point.
Yeah, well, I don't think you have Chaos pick those silvers up with the Tempered
Not
sword.
with Tempered, no.
I mean, you could make the Vitreous argument here too, but Tempered Sword is going to be probably good enough for that fight, combined with just regular arrows and, you know, if you probably not going to want to use the cape because Chaos does not have the half magic, but oh, that's an interesting spot for a second Moldorm. So Trinexx could be on ice, and we'll just never know. Could also be vanilla. Could be in any of the pendant dungeons, as it turns out. Those are
we'll
not
get one last
locations.
quick prediction in here about that Moldorm 2. Is it going to be a Vitreous or not? Definitely not a Moldorm, but it could be our second Helmet King or Cold Stare or Mothula.
I mean, if you're the Psyduck-Psychos and you have those silvers, I don't mind a Vitreous. In fact, that's kind of what I want.
Yeah, because you're still on Master Sword otherwise.
You're still on Master Sword, and your hope is that your opponents didn't go right at all and didn't get the silvers. Cold Stare is the thing I want the least, because that's gonna be a magic hog. Actually, Cold Stare is probably always what I want the least there, unless I'm like decked out with half magic and several blue bottles, right? Okay, no sword
To answer
there.
chat, any boss can be in the ice room,
No
provided you
sword
haven't already seen
there.
them twice.
Yeah, the rooms that have limitations are the 2 Moldorm locations and the Skullwood spot that Mothula is in.
And blind can't be at Landmo 2.
Right, which is kind of a weird one, but Landmo, yeah, Landmo.
Oh, and what do you know? It's Moth 2 here on
okay,
the
no
platform.
cold stairs today.
That paid off 2-1. Most people thought it would be Vitreous.
Oh, we were sure it was gonna be Vitreous. Like, it just made sense. No, Vitreous is hiding out somewhere else. And we're doing Master Sword Silvers on Psyduck-Psychos side.
Yeah, as you expected. Bumble having a bit of trouble with Torches 1 here.
Yeah. But in the end, the biggest difference is that dip into Ice Palace. I forget which of our runners did it. Over on the blue Trinexx group side. But
I think Chaos?
you know, and you know, with the it might have been fine if he could have bomb jumped. But there was a wall master in that room among other bad enemies, and the bomb jump just became difficult. And so it ended up being a double dip Ice Palace with a cane that was readily available in another location.
I mean, in general, it's hard to bomb jump in a room with wall masters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Though people do it to do right side GT without the fire rod.
I have seen some impressive bomb jumps in Randomizers where I'd be like, no, I'm not. Like, you know, another interesting one is when you see someone do like the hammer jump in pod, and it's just like, no, there's no way you're doing that. No way. Or like some of the diver downs in Swamp, same thing. It's like, no way you're doing that in Randomizer. And then, you know, there's some people that just can do them.
And Chaos actually taking the restock room.
Yeah, I think a bunch of I think at least one of the other runners on the other side took it as well. It's a pretty good, it's pretty nice that that's there, honestly.
It's also how we know the devs intended bonking.
Yep. Some people argue bomb jumping as well, but I don't know. I figure bonking makes more sense. Yeah, as a kid, I never figured out how to get there. It wasn't until I started watching Randomizer and stuff. I was like, oh, that's how you get there.
I think I learned it from Nintendo Power.
Mm.
But both of our Psyduck runners are about to be on the Ganon fight. I mean, Crackerito already is, but Bumble's got Agatu down. Yeah, as you were saying, like, given the amount of time TT Chaos spent on that fruitless ice dip, this is extremely close if he doesn't go in there, and maybe Blue Trinexx group even wins.
Of note, Crackerito has 6 hearts.
On Master Sword Ganon.
Yeah, this is not ideal. He's done a nice job with the cape. Did just use a bottle, so must have had... I'm not sure if that was a blue or a green, because I think
he's on phase 3. He's got silvers. He's fine now, but that was definitely dicey for the first couple of phases.
We'll also shout out our red mail. It does make things better. Now, I personally like to get Torch Glitch when I'm trying to do Master Sword Silvers, but again, not really necessary.
Yeah. Just thinking of other things that made a difference. I guess Ascend's Blind Death didn't help matters either.
Yeah, that's true. That was in Desert. That by itself wasn't the difference, though. I think the Ice Palace play was just it was much bigger.
No, I mean, you put those two things together, and I think Blue Trinexx group could have definitely won.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, Bumble in phase 2. Much better off health-wise. Doesn't have the red mail, though. Didn't ever pick that up.
So, GG's to Crackerito here, who will be the first one to finish. I mean, I guess the only thing here is, you know, just because Master Sword is so slow, a Ganon Fall might swing this. but even then it would be
Yeah.
unlikely.
All right, and that finish time for Crackerito 109.28. Yeah, I mean, if Psyduck-Psychos don't find the silvers, then things get interesting. And as expected, Chaos did not pick up the silvers. I'd be a little annoyed if I was the runner that didn't get silvers or half magic. Give me one of those things, you know?
And as Ascend gets to Ganon, Bumble is now on phase 4, just needs a few spins and 4 silvers. Very dramatic Ganon music.
I mean, Ganon music should be dramatic, right?
Is he out of bottles?
He's out of
Yeah,
potions.
his bottle's empty there. So, okay, he does have... Right, the lamp was really early. That was Back of Escape 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, thankfully, yeah, I mean, gosh, lamp is not, I mean, still not hard required in Randomizer. Boy, do you want it in Randomizer so much more than in regular modes.
So get your GGs in. Psyduck-Psychos will advance to the conference semifinals.
Finishing at 111.25. And they will play Clown College.
Another all-German matchup.
Just down to 1.5 hearts for Ascend, but should be okay. Don't. Oh my god. I don't know how he didn't fall there, but. And Ascend gonna cross that bridge at 112.16.
And Chaos, of course, has to do 12 spins.
The only one that didn't get the silvers.
Nice triple, though.
Oh, the mushroom was on Ped. Because why not?
I'm a fun guy. I'm a fun guy.
It's definitely not the text you ever want to read on Ped. And that'll do it for the Blue Trinexx group. TTKS finishing up with an official race time of 113.54.
And
we're divvying up the interviews because we do have a German restream going as well.
Yeah, talking to the runners, it's sounding like Ascend will be joining us here, and the other 3 runners are going to do German interviews. I don't know if they're planning to switch afterwards or if that's it, but we should be hearing from Ascend shortly. And we are joined by Ascend, GG.
GG.
So put off the mountain a bit.
Yeah, so it was probably what TT and I thought they did a really early. Oh, we got Hammer, we got Fire Rod, and then they probably went right back to Hera, even for their just 2 items.
They didn't go right back, but they definitely got Samaria quite a bit before you guys did.
They got their Samaria while I forget which one of you did the earlier ice dip, but while that was going on, that's when they got the Samaria, which was rather unfortunate.
Yeah, it did the ice dip, so yeah, we were like, okay, Hera or ice, and I told him ice. It's a 50-50 at the end. So.
Yeah.
And if he could have gotten through to the boss, it wouldn't have been too much of a time loss. The problem was he couldn't beat it.
The Wallmaster in the Ice Palace bomb jump room just made it that much more difficult.
Yeah. It's unfortunate for us. So when you're playing, you could not feel anything like, okay, you're in front or you're behind. I did not feel good from my side because of my death in Desert.
Yep.
Even, especially after that the hammer showed up on boss.
Mm-hmm. You still got that first. Like, you get a lot of the key items first. You all got to the mirror almost immediately. They got to it much later. You're pretty even to. I mean, this was kind of a front-loaded seed. There was a lot of stuff early.
Yeah.
And you were the only ones that found the tempered sword. No idea where sword 4 was. Probably in one of those pendant dungeons that we have.
Probably
a lot of items.
More. Yeah, we never dipped that. This was good on the seed. Good side on the seed.
Yeah. We also noticed that you seem to have an aversion to safeties. That, like, you had to run and get the cape to do Spike Cave because you hadn't gotten cape or Burna or a bottle.
Yeah, it was always everything was on TT's route, not on my.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when he called it, I was like, okay. He said something like vanilla cape, and okay, I will get the cape, and this needs to be it. So even no bottles for the climb was also a little bit. What if Trinexx shows up on ice or some bullshit?
Yep. I mean, at least you got the half magic and the silvers. You were the only one to have half magic, but yeah.
Yeah, was like, I did the south route, so I said, because I had the book, I said, okay, then I will take bombos at least with the checks. At least this was on my safety side, yes. Otherwise, I think it would not be that good for my magic things.
Yeah, I mean, you'd end up with a moth on the top of GT, but like it didn't have to be. You get a cold stare up there, and then no bottle and no half magic would have been a real problem.
Yeah.
So to be honest, we were expecting a Vitreous, since he hadn't shown up yet.
It could have been Helmer could have also been an option. I think we did not see that much doubles. I think with the moth at the top, it was the second double.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just that we hadn't seen Vitreous at all, so it had to be somewhere.
Yeah, and that's one of the, because there's only, a handful of bosses that can even be up there, so it's just already tilted towards it being one of those bosses, and we've seen several.
Yeah, damn Samaria.
It's always something. But yeah, very nice season from you guys. I saw that you were 12-2 coming into the playoffs and get to this round. Well, so you get the bye in the first round. No,
they played the first round.
Oh, you did play the first round
because they didn't win their division because there was the 13-1 team.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I should leave those questions to you, Drosy, because you know all the numbers.
Yeah, no, I'm looking it up. Definitely an improvement. Last season, they went 11-3 and then just got swept out of the playoffs in their first round.
Oh.
So actually winning a playoff round and taking the next round the distance, definite improvement this season.
Nice.
Yeah, a little bit. We hoped because it was more or less it would be the same round if you compared, because last year we did get the bye week.
Okay. Mhm.
So we would have been happy if we could advance at least one round, because to improve a little bit more than just at least not going 0-3-0 or like last year, or in this case it would be no, not 3-0, 0-3 last year, and here it would be 2-0. So we had a close matchup. Yeah, but luck was not on our side. So it is what it is.
It was also unfortunate that second loss you took. Otherwise, in the regular season, otherwise you could have had a race off against Biumberet to get a bye. Yeah.
This was on one of our teammates in the cross keys game. I think this was a dumb. He knows it. It's not. We talked about it. It was not his day, and he did forget to talk to the. What was it? The Hype Cave NPC.
Oh no.
Cross keys. And that was the Moon Pearl.
Oh no.
So you had some scheme like getting to the Dark World through a connector, jumping down, finding Hype Cave, and needs to talk with him. But he just sometimes you just do forget the simplest things, and later you visited the cave again, but still did not talk to him because it was just blank. His mind went blank on this one.
Yeah, well,
so we lost this game there.
That's one of the gotchas in cross keys anyway.
You're not necessarily used to talking to NPCs in bunny form.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, this was otherwise, we probably would have won this one, and we would have had the at least face off against Biumberet for the bye week. Yeah, but nevertheless, last year we had the bye week, and we had the feeling you get how do you say it? You get a little bit out of touch of the for the game.
Yeah, rest versus rust, right?
Rust, yeah. So to say, and then getting back into it and saying, okay, we need to play, and we felt a little bit, like I said, rusty, and also did not perform ultra well last year with the bye week. So we it was okay for us to directly play the first week. At least a little bit different in this way.
Well, thanks to SpeedGaming Live, you got quite a bit of time off anyway.
Yep.
Since that was
this was a SpeedGaming Live last year, yes.
Yeah, that there was a week and a half between the end of the regular season and the beginning of playoffs at all, just because so many of us were there.
Yeah.
All right.
So anything else to add? Do you know if any of the others are going to come here after the German interview, or?
The last matches they did not take part. I think in the restreams we had here, so I probably think they will not come as the winners.
Okay, I know there are a lot of people in the German community who don't feel comfortable doing English interviews,
and that's totally understandable.
Yeah.
No,
there are a lot of people in the French community too who are the same way, and even in, the other foreign language communities.
I mean, to be fair, I would be lost in any of the other communities because I don't speak any of those languages. So just the fact that you all can communicate is great. Like, I'm very appreciative of our European friends knowing English and being a little more enlightened about these things than we are, I think.
And we really appreciate you coming in here for an interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
especially after a tough loss.
Yeah, you're doing also this awesome job of commentating and tracking it for us. So I think it's how do you say it? This is the problem for not English speakers. Sometimes I'm just lost for words.
Yeah, no. I mean, we lose our words too sometimes. Even when we speak our native languages. But we're definitely glad you came.
Yeah. So you're also doing an awesome job here. Taking your time, your free time to commentate it, so it's only fair that at least one of us does get here. So in this case, I split up with TT so he can do the German one, because he's also not fluent enough in English,
Mhm.
like myself.
Alright.
I hope I'm more or less understandable here.
No,
That's my-
you've been fine. You've been absolutely fine. Actually, fantastic, really. But yeah, I guess we'll let you go and see if you want to join with all of them. And
Yeah,
we'll
I know
close it out.
your respective teammates were doing the German commentary, so
yeah. They hopefully roasted us for our plays.
almost certainly.
I think that's usually how that works.
And I
Uh,
see what's the team name of the next opponent? I'm blanking.
Clowns College.
Oh yeah, Clown College.
Probably, yeah,
Yeah,
Clown College.
no. They're making some snide remarks in the German chat too.
Yeah. So. Okay. Perhaps for my play, I do not know if it's was visible. Like I did. We did miscommunicate the Quake at one moment. Therefore, I needed to go back to
we
the
weren't
Smith
sure.
one
Yeah,
round.
we weren't sure what the Quake situation was, but you did both get it, so.
Yeah, and this was the one, and we said, yeah, okay, but you, and then TT said, yeah, but I need the Quake, and I said, I have the Quake. And this was some ways, and I opened my VOD and had to look on parallel on like running
Oh,
with
no.
boots and looking parallel. It's a little bit
never,
stressful,
never a good feeling.
and therefore I did miss the Smith for the first bow.
hmm
To be safe for any bow boss, or at least bow lock boss thing.
hmm
Perhaps you could have skipped it, I think. It's not that necessary.
Yeah,
Would
you
have been
didn't
not
need
that
it.
necessary. Yeah, but this was perhaps one time where my play would have been a little bit scuffed in the Village of Outcast to finish Skywoods and then going back to the Dark World and just getting the bow there. Just remember that. Yeah, not luck on our side, but that's random.
Yep. And co-op,
Yeah.
You say it to your partner and then you forget because you now expect your partner to remember, and then
Yeah.
when it becomes relevant, no one remembers. So.
Yeah. Or at least then it's the situation, did I tell you it or did I forget to tell you it?
Yeah.
Okay, then I would say thank you for commentary and for tracking Furious Magic and Velity. I probably butchered that name.
We very much appreciate Valady rushing out of a final exam to get here to track.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that,
hope
but
the
it is
exam
that
went
time
well.
of year, isn't it?
I mean, do put your academics first.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are definitely IRL things that come before tracking and video gaming, but
Yeah, and otherwise, I wish everyone that's still watching to have a nice day, and I will switch over to the German interview if they are still going on.
Sounds like they're
Thank
still
you.
going. So.
Yeah, thank you, Ascend. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for joining
Bye.
us.
Well, we do have one other race tonight. It is an invitational race, and I think that is the last of the invitational races. We do have at 10:30 currently on SpeedGaming 2, but that could maybe move to main. We have Your Mom's Favorite Rando Team versus Don't Forget to Track Us. That is a pilot spoiler with Shireen and Aikir as the runners. I believe Fear Agent and Hierdy Wong are the pilots, because Flip Hill and Gamachu are the commentary. So another all teammates commentary going tonight, and that'll be a lot of fun to watch. So
yeah, and the winner of that gets to face To Infinity and Pagog, who have really been on a tear these playoffs after only doing 8-6 in the regular season. They've just been
they're
cruising through the
team.
playoffs so far.
Although, to be fair, most of the teams, any of the teams left in the Invitational are scary, and a lot of teams that didn't even make the playoffs in the Invitational are scary. So you're just going to play someone scary no matter what. So
yeah.
Just the way it works. And, we're getting to the point where in the Open League where everything's scary as well. So, keep an eye on that SpeedGaming schedule to see as the next round starts to get scheduled.
Absolutely. And we're gonna keep this stream live just because the runners are interviewing on the German side. So any of you who speak German, feel free to go over to SpeedGaming Deutsch and hear the interview there.
Yep. And in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and leave you. Thanks again to Fierce Magic and Velity for tracking always the MVP. And Drossi, thank you for joining me at the last minute and not making me solo a 4-player co-op with
Yeah, sorry about
with
that.
Randomizer. So it was a lot of fun.
Likewise, always fun to work with you.
All right. But yeah, we'll see the rest of you at the next one. Have a good rest of your day.